Yeah. What's up, Internet? How are you doing? How are you doing? It's a Monday, and I got my little dog on my lap. How's everybody doing today? Happy Monday. Hope everybody's feeling fantastic. Beautiful weather out here. It's like 76 degrees and cloudy. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Something? Number? Let's see. We gotta go. Man, we're already going to the Google search today. 78? 2? Celsius? Let's see, guys. Let's see. 25.5. 25.5556 to be exact. But it's a lovely day here in Western Washington. Happy to be here. What is going on here? I got something hanging out my nose. What is that? Is that booger? I don't know. Maybe. But hopefully everybody's having a great day. There you go, buddy. Little dog's just making me a little feeling like I needed to take a nap. You know what I mean? It was almost making me feel like, hey, dog on my lap. Hey, dog on my lap. Am I supposed to be like super chill? Am I supposed to be super chill? I don't know. No. We're live on the internet. We got to be going wild, yelling about stuff, right? Okay, today's show is brought to you by Limnophilia aromatica. Whoa. Today's show brought to you by Limnophilia aromatica. Oh, where's the... Oh, come on now. Here we go. Do we got a little of that? Yeah. We got a little Limnophilia aromatica today. Okay. That's the show was brought to you by that plant today. The letters L and A. Not Los Angeles. Come on now. You all got LeBron. You can't have the rights to the show too, right? But Limnophilia aromatica, if that's a plant you guys want to know about today, that's the plant going into the 150, which I have to admit I'm fully excited to get some more plants added in. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight a little bit later on here about what to do when you get new plants in, how to take care of them. It's all in the video segment. We will talk about that a little bit, and we'll go a little nutty on that. Let me see here. And let me look at my list of things we're going to talk about today. Okay. So we'll talk about a little bit about the getting new plants in, what you should do with them when you get them, what I do with them when I get them. Because there is a way, there is a will, there is a way. But generally speaking, it actually is a pretty simple process, and we'll talk about that today when we hit the video segment. But right off the bat, let's get into the lovely weekend. What was the weekend all about? How did it go? How did things go since Friday? Let's mention a couple of, hold on a second. I got to pop open my thingy here. The thingy that tells me the stuff. I gotta go. You guys, I gotta click the button here again. Because I gotta click through, and I gotta go to the community tab here. But the first thing that we're gonna do after the stuff that's already happened, right? We're going to talk about some stuff, some comments over the weekend, and we'll be getting to it. We'll also be talking about some of the stuff that happened over the weekend and things that are up and coming for the show, for the channel, and for the things that are going on. But let's check in with who was first to the chat today. Oddball Aquatics. Victory. M. Howie9 coming in second. Joel Gillett from New Zealand coming in third. Good to see y'all. I see AJ Aquarium. I see Chad Krotz. I see Gone Mad. I see Rocky's Rocky. Candy Overhauls is here today. Ooh, lovely moderation from Overhauls and Gone Mad. Those are our... And Mr. Gillett also. We've got moderators galore, apparently, already today. Maxwell Sonneman is here. Good to see you. Jad Orsi showing up, saying hello. Wushu, Jimmy Brown saying, woohoo, new plants, digging it. Dango Bicon is here. I never know if I'm saying your name right. One Man Aquarius is here. Good to see you. Alyssa Bentley, Dank Tanks, Daryl Dimer himself, Gerald Wallace. What's up, Gerald? How you doing? We've got Gaddis Aquarium and Reptiles is in the house today. That's always added. We got Foster's Fish. What's up, buddy? Good to... I've met Foster's Fish the other day in person. That was pleasant. Just to downplay it. Let's downplay it and say that it was pleasant. It's definitely pleasant. 2 thumbs up, my man. Good to meet you in person. It's one of my favorite things to do is meeting people in person. I love doing that. I love getting opportunities to do that. It's so cool. I mean, really... To just actually just meet people in person, I love doing that. Kind of yuck it up for a half an hour, talk about some stuff, ins and outs, and those kinds of things. I love doing that. It's kind of my favorite thing. Unless it's somebody that's like really mean and they hit me over the head with a pipe wrench and then I get abducted and murdered. That would not be good. But other than that, love meeting people. You know what I mean. Dank Tanks is here. What's up, Dank? Haven't seen you in a while. Fish Tanks, Guitars, and More with Zach Denham, who's got the super long title. Loving it. I'm saying little dogs are great. Mr. Chips and Miss Biddy Browns, I love them to death. They're great dogs, and they're both here. Who's this sitting on my lap? Licks Nibbles is here. Jeffro's Fish Keeping, what's up? Don't want to double up here. Aqualand is here. Hans Hartman, PM. Bentley Pascal, what's up, man? Jessica Day, greetings from Melbourne, all the way from Australia, showing up to the show, all the way from Australia. Digging that. Awesome. Thanks for coming out. Let's see here. Gecko15 is here, saying hello. What's up? Ryan Avery. Brandon Skelly. I read your name wrong. PM is here. Them shrimp paintings, though. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Shrimp paintings, man. I make shrimp paintings. You know all about it. I think that's shrimp. That's not shrimp 2.0. That's just shrimp. That's just a regular old shrimp, you guys. Danny's Aquarium says, don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah, you got to tell the robots what's up. Mark Parrish is here, saying evening to all the wet sleeves. Oh, I like that. Danielle Edwards, great Monday, going good. Let's see. Charlie is here. Ooh, what's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Ed's Fish, Mary Ann. Hello. How's the baby? She's asking how the baby mama is. Yeah, that baby mama doing great. Vicky Toria is doing fantastic. Although I will admit, she was a little bit despondent by how many people disliked our garden vlog. Oh, so many dislikes. I don't know. It was like 15 or 20 dislikes or something like that. And I'm like, babe, unless you hit 100 dislikes, Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. That's just some cranky people being upset because maybe they don't have a cool spouse that likes to garden with them, and then they're sad and they lash out on the internet. Or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't wasted my time to really like figure out the psyche of the actual life of the internet troll. I normally just walk away from it. Drapa is here saying, "Oh, I killed a bunch of that stuff at the beginning of the year." Oh, I get it. I understand. Most everybody that I talk to has questions about plants and stuff like that. That's one of the things I prefer to address on here. As you guys know, I'm a plant fanatic, Planet Aquariums, all that kind of stuff. We will have some reef stuff coming up this week, though. Maybe next week. I don't want to get ahead of the game here and be like, you know, I don't want to get ahead of the game and be like, I'm going to be doing it this week. But it is coming up. We do have a new 120-gallon aquarium that the Victoria was gracious enough to basically donate to the project here, or whatever you want to call it. She decided to pitch in and to get a brand new 120, which is amazing, built by a local builder. There will be a highlight video on that at some point in time to let you guys know where I got it, who I got it from, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to contact the same builder, there will be a video for that coming out. You know what I mean? So we got that going for us. Pretty exciting. That's why, and I say when there's going to be some reef stuff going on, the reef is going to be moving, and it's going to be moving from that 180 into the 120. So it's going to be moving from where it's at right now to the other side of the fish room. After much deliberation, Vicky and I kind of decided, like, you know what? I think the reef tank being over here is going to be a lot better, and it's going to work. It's going to work out system-wise a lot better, because the wall behind the 180 I'm going to be tearing into fairly soon, adding a bunch of plumbing and things for the pond project that's coming. I would be remiss to say that I've got a ton of work done on the pond stuff. I have not gotten a ton of work on the pond stuff yet. Basically, things are just kind of laid out and waiting for me to start digging a hole and stuff like that. So we will be getting some pond stuff out of me, other than on the Coop channel, fairly soon, which will be going in here. A lot of the water changes, people have been definitely asking about that because of the garden vlog and stuff. If I'm going to be using aquarium water for watering the garden, and yes, that is definitely going to be happening. Oh my God, we've got Mellow Moogle in the chat. Oh, Moogle! If you guys don't know who Mellow Moogle is, she's in the chat. She's one of our moderators who has recently gone through a brand new job change and all that stuff, and I have not seen her in like 3 months. What's up, Mello? Good to see you. Fantastic to see you pop up in the chat. Always loving that. Always loving that. Good to see you. Good to see you back for a little while. I did just get the message over here that you can only be here for a little bit, but so good to see you. Good to see you, and hopefully I'll be making it down to Portland sometime soon to come hang out with all the people in Oregon. I'm trying, you know, the Willamette Valley Aquarium Club is pretty new, and I've been talking to them about possibly coming down and, I don't know, they want me to probably do some kind of presentation or some kind of talk or something like that, which it's looking like I might be able to fit that into my schedule. I'm not sure. So, right now, it's sort of up in the air on whether or not I can fit it in, but we shall see. Where did the hold on, let me see here. Where did my email go? Oh gosh, did I close my email? Oh my. Oh, there it is. Okay, go in here, log in. Really? It takes that long? Okay. Let's see. I don't know. Hold on. I got to open my other calendar. You guys have so many calendars, it's getting ridiculous. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to be, man. And I never really seem to know. Minnesota. Okay, so September 16th, right? Yes. September 16th, Sunday. Okay, Sunday, September 16th, I might be there. In the meantime, you guys should look them up. If you're in the Oregon area, it's near Eugene, so it's not like out in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty inhabited. You know, there's lots of people around there. I bet there's probably, gosh, I almost said some stupid. There's probably some burger joints. I don't want to say one. I don't want to say one specifically. Ain't nobody on this is sponsoring for me to talk about their burger joint. This is a Patreon funded show, as you can see right here. That's the Patreon link right there. This is funded. This is fan funded, this show. So I'm not talking about no specific burger joints, but Willamette Valley Aquarium Society, September 16th, I am desperately going to try and make that. And it being a Sunday is pretty good. It being a Sunday is a good way for me to be able to make it. Because I think the Portland one, they meet on Monday night, which is just brutal to try and make that, to drive from up here to down there and try and make that happen. Gerald Wallace asking, did I ever get the 120 out of my truck? Yeah, it's in the shop now, set up on a workbench. It's just sitting on a workbench right now. Nice and covered up and going to be safe. Dango is asking, is the new 120 going in the fish room? Yes, it's going to replace the 75. Vicky Toria's tank that is in there. It's going to be replacing that 75-gallon tank that's right there. And hopefully I'll be rehoming that to Mr. Kevin Keener, who's in the chat right now. I'll just pay it forward, you know, kind of deal. Pass that on to my man, Mr. Keener. Get that gifted off to him, and you know, so we'll keep it in the fam. We'll keep the 75 in the fam here, and send that one down the road. And the reef will be going into the 120. So it'll also put it kind of like nicely in its own corner, so I can keep all of the reef stuff sort of, I guess, concentrated into one spot. Do all that, then I'll be able to add some more shelving and things like that, shelving and cabinet kind of things into the fish room. It drives Vicky crazy if I have like anything sitting on the ground or anything like that, which this guy right here, when he gets busy, I do have a tendency to kind of leave piles of stuff around, as you probably tell from my office here. Like I have like these rolling crates and stuff like that behind me. I need more of that stuff in my life, because it's I do want to order some more of these. I think we got them from like IKEA or something like that, and I don't remember them being like a lot of money, but I would like to order a couple more of those for the fish room, and then be able to have like a little cabinet area where they could go, and then put some bins up and stuff like that. So I'll be doing some fish room construction coming up. I don't know when that's going to happen, so I don't really want to tell you guys a specific date, but as per usual, I'll probably be making videos out of it and give you guys a little bit of insight in how I'm throwing a hammer around and being ridiculous out there, you know, because that's just the kind of guy I am. Steve, speaking of fish room work, is hanging some drywall solo style during the show, so hopefully we can keep him entertained. Maybe make him laugh, see if we can't get him to drop a whole sheet on his head or something like that. That'd be funny. And if you haven't checked out Steve's channel, click on that one and check that out and see if you can't go check out, because he just bought like a whole, I think a store closed or something, and I think he bought all their tanks. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was just like a local breeder that had, just had a ton of stuff and was selling it off. I'm not sure, but let's see. PM is asking, gonna try to DIY my stand for my first high-tech tank this weekend. Quite hyped. Ooh, hey, I'm digging that. If you guys can get involved in building some stuff, stands are one thing that I would almost always recommend to get into building it yourself. I don't think you're necessarily going to save. You're not necessarily going to save money. Some of the stands I've seen out there run like $299 or something like that. You'd save money in that department, but lumber is getting more and more expensive. Actually, had Bradley up here because I rehomed the crebensis that were in the 75. Bradley, Mr. Petite Bro himself, came up, scooped them up, and we actually also went up to check out a fish room. Local fish room, and he picked up some really cool fish from our guy Bentley Pascal. We went up to his place, but I've seen some. Long story short, Bradley works for a big home improvement store, right? Big home improvement store. And we were laughing at how much the lumber prices have gone up, and it's pretty amazing because even through like the crazy gas prices and all that kind of stuff, it never went up this much. It just keeps going up and up and up, and I'm not 100% sure why that is happening, but you know, it just is one of the nature of the business out there. But if you do have your eyes on a really expensive stand, you could probably still come in under budget. Just bear in mind that it's a perfect like weekend project, and you definitely want to go into it like with an open mind to learn about some new stuff, because that's going to be the biggest thing that you're going to get out of it. I mean, not only are you going to take pride in going like, yeah, man, I built this awesome thing and it's mine now. You're going to get that for sure, but the biggest thing you're going to get is some learnings. You're going to be getting some learnings, and that's going to work out pretty well. Brandon says built his 55-gallon stand for $21 in 2x4s. That's not bad at all. One of the things we were laughing about is that 2x4s are over $3 a piece now. And boy, howdy, I remember when I went to the I can remember back. And it's not that long ago. It's not like I'm a million years old and I'm like, back in the 40s when we went to the old lumber yard. I'm just saying like 6-7 years ago, we, you'd like go to the Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and 2x4s were under $1. I mean, they were like 87 cents, and then they were 93 cents, and then they were 98 cents, and it was like, and then one day they went over $1, and now they're like 3 something. So it is going pretty quickly. Barbara Jackson just got your new Fluval 3.0 light. It is Christmas morning. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I have to say, the Fluval 3.0 light, it's my favorite light out there. It definitely is my favorite light out there. It has all the bells and whistles that I want. It has the quality that I want. It has the waterproof that I want, UL testing that I want, the ability to grow plants really well, which is my main focus, right? And I'm not saying that they're the cheapest. They certainly aren't the cheapest. And recently I was kind of talking about this to try and equate it to people that, so if you think about it, in terms of like a car, right? If you go with like a Finex, there's a couple of good Finex ones out there that are pretty economical for sure. They're pretty economical for sure to get the Finex ones. Are a little more economical, so they're more like a Honda or something like that, maybe a Kia. I don't know. The way I look at it, the Fluvals, they're like the nice commuter car, like a Lexus or something like that, you know what I mean? And they have all the things, they have all the bells and whistles that like a Lexus would have, with like the leather seats and the seat warmer and all that kind of cool stuff. And the other ones that I think of is like the Kessels. They're like way up here. They're like the Maserati, super expensive. Do they do a good job? Yeah, but they're like super focused. You got to buy 5 of them if you have a big tank, and that adds up quickly at the the $300 price point, whereas, you know, my 150 that you guys are going to see the video today, 150-gallon aquarium that is running off of one Fluval light that I believe retails at like 180 or something like that. So, you know, I couldn't even buy one Kessel for that amount, you know, and I would need a bunch of them. So that's a little rundown on some lights there that I like, that are kind of turnkey lights out there. I haven't found that many. I've tried, as you guys know, people that have been following me for a long time know that I have tried a lot of other LED solutions. Most of them end up having too many downsides, personally. Even from like desk lamps to what are they? What is it? The Par 38 bulbs, all that kind of stuff, strip lighting, landscape lighting. I've gone through so many of the incarnations with those to try and find a solution that was cheaper. And you know, in the long run, it just ended up being the same situation with like me trying to save money with this camera strap that is broken, which pisses me off because this stupid company didn't even email me back. You guys, I am obsessed with camera straps right now, and I'm about over it. You know what I mean? And I'm over it to the point where, you know what? I was kind of obsessing over it yesterday to try and figure out, like, what is a camera strap solution. As you guys know, I've been traveling around a lot. There will be more travel coming up, and I really wanted a solution that's going to work for what I want to do. So I've ordered some parts. Okay, so long story short, my boy Jimmy, your boy Jimmy, everybody's boy Jimmy. If you aren't subscribed to his channel, just subscribe to it because his videos are awesome. I watch all of his videos; they're fantastic, and he's a super cool dude. He's a very nice guy. I love being his friend. I'm appreciative. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna gush about the dude, but whatever. The guy, if I talk to him and he says like, I tried all this other stuff. Just go with this one. I know it's more expensive, blah, blah, blah. But that's really what it came down to end up going with the Peak Design strap, which I'm gonna be really honest with you guys right now and say this strap is the most expensive strap I have ever ordered or I have ever purchased in my entire life. It's really kind of crazy. Look at this. Hold on. Let me get the link for you. So this is the camera strap that I ordered today. It's $64.95 plus the tax, whatever that is. It's over $70 for a strap. That is, I don't know. You know, Vicky says that I'm cheap, but I don't know that I'm cheap. I'm astounded by a camera strap that costs more than $30. You know what I mean? But under the advisement of, you know, Jimmy and Dean, that everybody's just like, just get this strap. You won't have to worry about anything. This is the best one that is around. Yes, it has some downsides, but it's the best one that you could get. So, all right, that's what I ended up doing. I ordered that, but on top of that, I ordered some extra rifle strap parts that I'm very interested to see about what I could do with putting together some slings with that. So, I'm interested to see if these parts will work or if it's just going to be a huge disaster. I also, as you guys know, I take 2 cameras with me, and I do look forward to being able to have one slung up and one somewhere else, for basically to be able to get the other shots and stuff. So essentially I could put Like, let's say I take my old camera, which is right here, which I do take with me. I normally put this up. I'll like set it up places to shoot like time lapses and stuff like that. So it'll be like, I'll set this up to shoot time lapses, or but the great thing would be is like for macro shots. So as you guys know, I spent all of my birthday money, all of my gift cards, all that kind of stuff. I saved up all that stuff as long as I could, and I grabbed this Tamron lens. Yes, I understand it's not the Canon lens I wanted. It's not the Canon lens that everybody wanted. It's the Tamron lens. I'm very happy with its performance. It does have some downsides. It's okay. It's not as good as the badass camera, the Canon one, the Canon L series 100mm one, but it has been doing the job quite well. And realistically, if I can take it, combine it with this, have it on another strap, because this strap solution that's tied on here does not work well on the road. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. It turns into a disaster. So if I can take this camera, strap it in on a sling strap or something like that, take it off, shoot a time lapse, go grab this camera, shoot macros with it, and meanwhile do all the other filming with my big body camera, then that will be great. That would be ultimately great. And you guys, I love my ADD. I love this camera. I love this camera a lot. And the last thing I want to do is just relegate it to sitting in my bag all the time. I want to use it more often. So that's kind of why I've been trying to figure this all out, figure this whole strap situation, so I'm able to, you know, kind of move forward and do more work with this camera instead of it just kind of lingering around. But you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being fanatical. Maybe I'm just being weird. Maybe it's a huge waste. But we will find out, because it's 1-day delivery. So that's the other strap's going to come. And I'll start to figure that out tonight. I'll probably end up staying up too late. And then Vicky will probably be mad at me because I'm staying up too late and keeping her up. Which you guys, I can't apologize enough to my lady for that, but I just don't know how to turn it off. You know what I mean? She wants to go to bed early, and I'm like, I got more work to do. I've got more work to do. But let's check out a couple of these super chats real quick, and let's go to the video early today, because it's Monday. Why not? We do what we like around here, and we like video, don't we? I think you guys like video. Whenever I ask, I'm like, hey, do you guys want to go to video? And you guys always tell me, yeah, let's go to the video 100%. So, yeah, mad respect to the Oceaneers and the video. Because why shoot the video if we don't go to it? But let's go to these super chats real quick. We got Jeff Rose Fish Keeping with a $20 super chat going huge on Monday. Thanks, man. $20 that's pretty big time. Says, what up, Joel and the Fish family? So many cool people here today. Yes, I would 100% agree with you on that assessment. A lot of cool people here today. And what up? And what's up to you, Jeff Rose? Hopefully you're doing good. I love going to his live stream and popping in from time to time. I like his live stream. It's a pretty good one. I don't know if he's getting his up on the podcast yet, but I keep getting requests from people to be like, put it up on the podcast format so I can listen to this while I'm jogging the forest or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. Savannah the Aqualama is here. Says 117 watching, which is now 128. And only 48 likes. Don't forget to like and share. Yes. Sharing is caring, especially when it comes to YouTube. It's basically the way that you can tell the YouTube robot that you're like, I actually like this, right? It's weird. Like, hitting the like button is good. Watching the show is awesome. Commenting on the show, all that stuff is fantastic. 100% rad. The one way that the YouTube robot is like, oh, you took the 18 seconds to share it out. You went share, made a little comment at the top, and then posted it out and sent it out. Wherever it goes, into the ether of the internet, wherever it goes, it tells that robot, you're like, yeah, yes, we want more of stuff. So yeah, you know, hit all the buttons and all that requisite YouTube talk nonsense. Sorry about that, guys. It happens sometimes. It's just the nature of the thing. I spend so much time like wondering what's going on with YouTube. One of the big things that's irritating me about YouTube these days is just how many channels I see now posting dead fish videos. Boy howdy, am I just refusing to click on those. Needless to say, if your thumbnail that you posted up is, I killed all my fish are dead, it's a dead fish disaster, it's a fish, these fish died, if it's any of that, I ain't clicking on it. I ain't watching it. And if I do come on it, I'm probably very disappointed in accidentally clicking on it. Neil with the $5 super chat saying, thank the gods my phone is waterproof. Working on my sleeve soaker, working on my sleeves soaker 75-gallon as I watch. Understandable. I've got a lot of tanks to get my sleeves. They get my sleeves super wet on a regular basis. And I don't know, I'm figuring maybe I gotta get like an aquascaping sleeveless shirt, but I don't want to be that weirdo that is walking around with like no sleeves on. I mean, I get it. There are guys that can pull it off, like Larry the Cable Guy, like that guy can do it, but I don't think I'm that dude, you know. Let's see here. Wait, why was that deleted? I wouldn't hide that comment. PM, sorry about that, PM. I don't know. Wait, can I undo that? I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with your comment there, buddy. Yes. I think PM said, yeah, I'll just say it out loud because it got hidden by the moderators. But PM was saying I'm throwing shade at Joey. Yeah, Joey is one of the many people out there that are posting the I killed my fish stuff. Even Life After College vlog, that guy posted 3 days ago a video where the thumbnail was he killed his fish. And he was talking about his reef. And that guy is a guy who vlogs about his corgi dog all the time. So it's just seeing a lot of that. But I don't like the cash grab. I don't like the cash grab of like, here's my clickbait thing. And then it's actually true that you did kill the fish. And then now you're profiting off of it. You know, and I don't know why it's acceptable that you're like, oh, I killed my fish and now I'm going to profit off of it. And look at it this way. Look at it in this term, okay? If I did something neglectful and my dog died while I was gone or something, like let's say Biddy Brown died of my fault, right? Okay? And then I came home and decided to make a video about how my dog was dead so that I could put it on YouTube and hope that it goes viral, right? Wouldn't that be disgusting? Wouldn't it be disgusting if the thumbnail was a picture of my dead dog and it was dog dead over the top? Wouldn't that be a little bit suspect? Right? If it was my cat, if it was my bird, if it was my dog, right? Wouldn't that be a little bit suspect as to the character of the person that posted that up? And, you know, some people would say maybe this is just a reaction to one specific person, but to be brutally honest, I scroll through my YouTube feed of like, hey, what videos came out? What videos are being fed up to me? And like I said, even you know, I've seen it from Solid Gold Aquatics. I've seen it from the Life After College vlogger. I've seen it, yes, from Joey. I've seen it from a bunch of people out there. Those are just three that come to mind. But I've seen it from a lot of people, and it's mind-bendingly like, it's disgusting. It just really is. It's just terrible. It's just terrible behavior, you know? How many people, like the paparazzi are vilified, right? Because they go around and they take pictures of people that don't want their picture taken of. It's like, oh, those guys are terrible. It's like, well, I lumped this right into the exact same thing. So, it's a little bit ridiculous. It's a little bit ridiculous that people are just accepting of it because it's like, well, that's my favorite vlogger, right? And they're just gonna go with it. I don't know. I think it's a little bit weird, especially because on YouTube, if you were to criticize somebody, they easily just delete it right out of there. So then you end up with this, weird, like echo chamber of people just being like, oh, you did all you could do. You did everything that you could do. Like, really? Did you do everything that you could do? I mean, from a personal standpoint, one of our chickens, got sick and we had to put it down. We tried to treat it. And, the vet, we even got to the point where the vet was just like, you know what? I don't think that this chicken is going to make it back. It was unfortunate, and we had to have that bird put down. And you know what? That is an opportunity that I could have made a video about my dead chicken and posted it up. It didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me at the time that, oh, I should maybe make a video about this so that maybe a whole bunch of people will I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So, it's just one of those things that's kind of frustrating. And people think I'm throwing shade. I ain't throwing shade really at anybody, unless it's negligence. If you really do find out from the person that, like, man, they really did try, then not a big issue. But I also think that there just kind of is an issue from the clickbait for making money off of it. I don't know. Just seems a little bit weird. But maybe tomorrow I'll put out a video that's like, my fish died. And y'all should click on it. It'll go viral. Maybe it'll be on trending, so people will know. Yeah. I was actually thinking about making that video with that thumbnail and then going into the, and then, like, the very first 5 seconds be like, my fish didn't die. You clicked on the thumbnail. But now the cat's out of the bag. So if you guys do see that come up, because you are here live, you're actually watching the live show, now you'll know that it's a big joke. Cancer Train says, I don't like the thumbnails of it. I feel like the people like Solid Gold and Joey do have to blog about it, though. They can't pretend that things haven't happened. Agreed. I understand that, like, people with a really high profile position or something like that, they feel obligated to talk about the things that are going on. But, oftentimes it's like the envelope that stuff comes in does matter. You know what I mean? It does matter, like, what your presentation is, and Walid Tune says, you probably put out a video of 120 plus degree Fahrenheit days and nothing dies in an outdoor pond. I could do that. I probably could do that, but it's a little bit weird. Gerald Wallace says, I'm a little disappointed. It's almost like you're kicking someone when they are down. It is kind of that way, and, in the reality's terms, the stuff is monetized, so it's really the thing, I mean, I could go out to the butchers that I know and stuff like that, and I could easily make YouTube videos of animals being butchered and throw crazy thumbnails and stuff out there like that. And would it go viral? Probably. I'd probably end up on the news, and that kind of stuff, Gerald Wallace says, especially if you haven't seen the actual video. Oh, if I haven't seen the actual video, if we're talking about one specifically, I did watch the after the vlog after college guy. What is it? Vlogging After College. I think that's his name. I forget. I really like his videos. He has like really good videos out and stuff like that. I think he has about like 100,000 subscribers, so he's like a pretty decent sized channel. Where did that go? Where's my like history thing? Yeah, here it is. I don't want to accidentally open the video. Oops. That's going to open the video. And a commercial. Whoops. Yeah, so he's got like 90,000. Who does he have? No, he has 353,000 subscribers. So he has a pretty big channel, Vlog After College. And, you know, the funny thing is that I did watch this video. I watched this one. And it really looked like he really did try to not have killed his, I think it was a fairy wrasse or something like that. He had a very specific situation with two fish bullying within his reef, which was also like kind of a strange situation too. Gerald Wallace says, I was talking about Joey, but I do appreciate your candor. Yeah. I think a guy like Joey could easily just put an air conditioning unit in his deal. You know, I think he probably could. Seems to have enough money to do that. I would guess. M Howie 9 with a $5 super chat for the tip jar. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. Bentley Pascal says, I think there's a difference between coming clean and using thumbnails to clickbait. I'm semi-guilty of the same, but I don't show dead fish in a video or a thumbnail. Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. Joel Gillett says, it might bring me up to 15,000 subscribers. Hey, as you guys know, I've been doing this for years and years, and I 100% appreciate the fantastic amount of support is amazing to me, and I'm pretty readily... Oh, hold on. We got somebody calling here. Who's this? Hello, caller. Oh, my God. This is my final chance to lower my credit card rate? How strange. Sorry, guys. Somebody that got my email address has sold my phone number, and I keep getting these phone calls about buying, what is it? Or my credit card from like an ambiguous, your bank is trying to contact you, right? Your bank is trying to contact you. But like I was saying before, I am 100% appreciative of all of the support, all of the subscribers, all the patronizers, all that. It is amazing to me. But I do 100% try to maintain at least my integrity to a certain degree, right? Somebody asked me a while ago, they were like, man, would you promote a product that was maybe suspect? And I'm like, no. And then they were like, but what if they gave you $1 million? And I'd be like, well, I'd probably promote it. I don't think they would be happy with my promotions, though, because I would probably make videos of showing how bad the product was. It would definitely expose, it would get exposure, I think, you know. But, yeah, if I was really in this for, just getting subscribers, then realistically, there's a million clickbaity things that I could do, like girls in bikinis, right? I could have girls in bikinis standing in front of my fish tanks in the thumbnail. I could, I could have cars doing burnouts. I could have explosions. I could have easily broken a bunch of fish tanks by now and filmed it and just acted like it was an accident. You know, like if I was like lifting weights in front of my fish tank and accidentally hit it with the bar and blew out the fish tank. Oh, I was just filming my workout skills, right? And so, yeah, I could have done all that stuff. I could have definitely done a lot of that stuff. You know, it begs to reason that one of the videos that I put up a long time ago, maybe like 8 years ago or something like that, and it's still up. You guys can go find it. It's one of the worst videos I've ever seen, and I was the guy who made it. It was actually me putting a shark fin made out of cardboard, onto my old roommate's Prius so that it could go fast. But you know, I could have done that. I could have done a whole bunch of clickbait stuff by now, but I think realistically, I you know, I'm trying to share, you know, stuff that I've learned. I'm trying to share with you guys and build an actual community instead of, you know, just a bunch of random people that come in to watch a car crash. You know what I mean? And so that's always been my focus, you know, is just been like, hey, here's me trying something out. Here's me doing something, you know, those kinds of things. Like, here's a project I'm working on. Hey, here's something that I did a bunch of research for, and maybe you don't want to do all the reading and all the following it down. So, you know, that's always been kind of the thing that I've been working on here, you know, is doing that kind of stuff. Gone Mad with a $2 super chat says, you're making a video about the settings on the 3.0. I probably will do some kind of video on the settings for the 3.0, but honestly, I'm kind of saving up so I can do side-by-side tests, of which right now I just really ain't got the chitter for. I'm basically just trying to save up some money so that I could get like 3 or 4 of the 3.0 nanos, those nano lights, then set them up basically side by side, divided, doing the same water changes, using the same substrate, all that kind of stuff, and then using plants that are would be the same trimmings from the same tanks going into each individual tank, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. I'll be doing that at some point in time, but I honestly don't know when that would happen. Noob Phobo says, I don't like younger YouTube fish people that just keep buying, then getting rid of fish, then feeding to other fish for entertainment. Yeah, there's also a lot of that going around these days, which I find to be a little bit of a strange thing, because a bunch of big YouTubers have decided to not go to a convention because Gotta Catch 'Em All, or what is it, Catch 'Em All Fishing, was going to something, and I guess he had maybe like fed a fish to something or released a fish somewhere. I'm not 100% sure like what the story is. I don't really watch Catch 'Em All Fishing or anything, but that's what I was told, was like, oh, well, that guy is mean to fish or something. Of which, if somebody knows what that's about, I would love to, you know, if you PM me or whatever, you could send me a message of the video that like he was doing something weird. I would love to see it, but I to be brutally honest with you, I would rather watch your guys' videos than try and find somebody, like somebody's, like weird video that they were doing something weird in. I just don't really have time for that. Let's see. Tugfork Aquatics is asking, can a rainbow shark live in a 29? I personally have had red-tailed sharks in a 29-gallon before, but I would not have either multiple of them or them with other fish. So it might be more of the wrong fish for your 29, because you might end up with just like 1 or 2 of them in there, and that might not be satisfactory for you. I recommend like a 55 or something with more space, like a 75, something like that, so they can have some good territory. And they are a pretty fast swimmer that like to kind of move around a lot, and they definitely need a zone where they can kind of just hang out and be their own little buddy. So it's not a fish I would recommend. They are super cheap, so that typically is what comes up. They're normally like $3 or something like that. They're not that expensive, which is why it normally comes up. That somebody will get one, kind of put it in too small of a tank, and then 6 months down the road, they're having it adopted out to somebody else or like bring it back to the store, which is unfortunate because they are really cool fish, but they do need a bit of a bigger tank in order to hang out. Tug Fork says, no, catch 'em all fishing is a fish abuser to the fullest extent, not just one video. There are a lot. Oh, okay. I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure. But, you know, a bunch of you know, YouTubers don't want to go to that convention because of that guy is going to be there, basically, is what apparently is going on, which I find to be weirdly interesting, but whatever. And yet, you know, the Killed All My Fish videos are still up online making money. Seems weird. Alvin Alejo with a $2 super chat. Say, que tengas un buen día. Que tengas un buen día. Have yourself a nice day. Loving it. Let's head over to the video and check out what's going on. Mainly because Tampa Tom keeps asking for it. And I love Tampa Tom. Rock and roll. Jeff Davis, what's up, dude? Finally making a live broadcast. We've got JS says, that's the happiest hap thing I've read all day. Ooh, I want to read that. Yes, like and share to show you care. Then hug a bear and brush your hair. Put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Right? Yeah. Digging it. All right. Cool. Well, we're on to the video segment today. As you guys will notice here in the video, we got to keep in mind there are a bunch of new plants here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different kinds of plants. We're going to focus on one of them today. We're going to stick with the one to try and keep it at least making some kind of sense for you guys. If I really tried to talk about 7 different kinds of plants, it becomes super confusing. I would lose track. I lose track of what I'm talking about anyhow, regardless of how many plants I'm discussing. But as we go to the video here, today we will be focusing on the Limnophilia aromatica, which is a beautiful stem plant. I love it. It has been a long time since I've had it, mainly because I just haven't been able to find it. This one's coming in looking pretty thin compared to what I'm used to, but these are trimmings from basically a farm tank that I got. One of the cool things about Limnophilia is that it does float. So even when you put weights on it, it's floating out of frame right now. But never fear, you guys will get a chance to see me plant it. It's a beautiful stem plant. I'm not saying that it necessarily needs CO2, but I would definitely give it CO2 for it to really establish the way that you want it to do. Sort of the base leaves will be real green, so the new leaves. Eventually, as it gets up top, closer to the light and a little more iron and a little more light and things, it will start to turn red and pink and do some really cool, come up with some really cool colors and stuff. As I said right now, this real kind of thin one, it will start to really thicken up as it grows taller and bigger in my tank. And, you know, it's so the sawtooth nature of the leaves is really hard to see on the video here because as I said, these are trimmings that have regrown, so their leaves are still pretty spindly right now, which is not a big deal, and it's pretty common that they do that. As like I said, as they get up to the top of the tank, if you guys look up this plant, you will notice that most of the pictures and stuff out there it'll be a lot greener at the top. Or, sorry, a lot redder at the top. It'll turn all pink and purple and stuff like that, and the base of it will really have this bright green look to it. But the guy I got these plants from, he trimmed them off, and then he's regrowing them from the trimmings and just letting them kind of pop up and do their thing. And they're real green right now because they're just basically all the way down in the bottom of the tank. Like I said, if you look up on some some pictures online and you want to check them out, you will see these will grow pretty darn tall and do a lot of cool stuff. Hold on a second. Right. And so this varietal here also has another thing going on with it. This is the mini variety. It does have that sawtooth to the leaf, but this is the mini. It's like variegated to be mini, the skinny leaves. That's what people are looking for. But as it does grow to the top, it still will look like that. Just the leaves are skinnier and finer and more plentiful than the typical pictures that you'd see online. But this is the mini variety that, as long as I keep it stumpy, if I keep it trimmed down and stuff, it will fill out and do a beautiful bush area where I'm looking for it to do in this spot. Where we end up planting it in this video is where I'm going to want it to be. But it has been a long time since I've had this plant, and hopefully it'll be a long time before I don't have this plant, aka hopefully we'll get a bunch of stuff going on and a bunch of good things will be happening and everyone will be super ecstatic, and then I'll just have a ton of this plant all over the place, right? As we keep going. Let's see here. Oh, JH Aquatics just showed up. What's up, my man? How you doing? That plant I'm moving right there. It's a little red aflame. Don't worry about that plant. Like I said, we're sticking with the Limnophilia aromatica today. So don't be super stressed out about all these other plants that are in the video. Those will be coming up later. But one of the things that I wanted to mention, if you guys notice these new plants that I got here, I bought these from a local guy. They didn't come with the weights that are on them, but you can see I do have weights on them. One of the big things that you need to do when you do get new plants is you want to acclimate them to your system. Just like fish, the plants aren't just going to, like, they aren't going to pop into your system and be like, oh, we're breeding tomorrow, you know? Like, if you get new fish, there's a good amount of time that they need to adapt to your system, get to living in there and things going on. So if you get new plants, kind of think of them as the same way of, like, maybe you got some new shrimp, maybe you got some new tetras or something like that. Maybe you got some new fish coming in, and the thing is, if you think they're gonna like breed right away as soon as you add them to your tank, you know, you need to feed those fish, you need to feed those shrimp, and get them acclimated to the system, and eventually they'll start breeding in your system, right? Look at plants the same way. They need to come in to your system, get going, and get adapted. Now, the way that I do that is that I actually have a bunch of the plant weights. I've just have accumulated them over the years. I have a bunch of them just sitting in an old thing, whatever. But when I buy the bunches from like home sale people, like local people, typically they don't have weights on them or anything like that. Normally just loose in a bag, which isn't a problem. But I come home, I bunch them all up, I put the weights at the base of them all, bunch them up, then drop them into my tank. Now I don't push them into the substrate. I want everything to be above the substrate, all the way down to where they've been trimmed and cut. And this is the same thing that I essentially do with my own plants when I do a ton of trimmings. When I do a ton of trimmings, I'll throw a weight on them. I just do this in the sump instead of doing it in the display tank. But the reason that I'm doing this is that I'm going to allow those plants to just kind of sit there for like a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. And by the way, this is a test of patience. This is 100% a test of patience to try and not plant these, not do anything with them, just allow them to just kind of chill in there and just kind of adapt and let them get going. But the way that you're able to tell when it's time to do something else with them, aka plant them around your aquarium, they start to throw out roots. They start to root, and they start to root. They send roots down. Then you know it's time to go ahead and get them planted. A lot of people out there normally get their plants in when they come in from wherever they're getting them from, right? They'll take them out of the pots and stuff like that and add them in to their tank and plant them immediately, which you don't really want to do that. You don't want to plant them immediately, mainly because they're going to be going through this transition period, right? They're going to be going through this transition period of getting adapted to your tank, getting adapted to your water conditions, your lights, all that kind of stuff. The fertilizer that's in your water's completely different than your water's going to be completely different than wherever it came from, most likely. Obviously, it won't be exact or anything like that. Let's see here. Hold on, we're blowing up. Ooh, I'll get back to that guy. What's going on here? What's happening right now? Oh, we had the mass exodus of people. A bunch of people left because I was mad that people are profiting off of clickbait, dead fish. Sorry, that was distracting. My bad. But oftentimes people will get their aquarium plants in, right? And they'll just plant them right away and get discouraged by what's going on over the next week. I don't recommend people to do that. Pull them out of the pots, maybe put a weight on them, and then put them up in the display. Just let them float, and they'll start to send down roots. They'll let you know which parts are going to melt and break away or anything like that. And then as you you can get a full idea to watch what is going on. Are they actually sending roots? Are they actually adapting? What is going on? If you stuff it all into the substrate, you never really have a great idea of what's going on because you can't really see into the substrate. Whereas if you have them above the substrate with a little weight on them like this, you can actually see the little tendrils of the roots coming down. Throughout the video here, I try to do my best to like kind of point the roots and things at the camera so that you can get a chance to see what they kind of look like. It's essentially, you know, just these fine white tendrils, otherwise known as roots, coming off the stalks of the plants. And then, as you can see, with this limnophilia I got here, the little bright parts hanging off the bottom, those roots that are down there, that's what I'm going ahead to. That's what I'm going ahead and planting because I know that they have sent roots out. It's basically adapted. It's basically adapted now. Now that I plant it, I know that those roots are already growing. Things are going on that I want to have happen. There was a plant here off to the right-hand side of the screen that I did get 3 stems of it for somebody, and I got those almost a month ago, and they just really have not been doing well in that system. So typically, if I had taken those and just stuffed them into the substrate, more often than not, I'll come back like a week later. It's just dead. Didn't work out that well. Whereas even with those 3 stems that have been doing pretty terribly, I still have kind of the top of the plant. So I do have some opportunity that it might work out. We shall see. Only time will tell. I can't really provide a healthier system for it at this point. The 150 is pretty much dialed, even though I am encountering a little bit of algae and things now. It's mainly just because I've been a little bit off on my water change schedule, you know, travel and stuff like that. The water's not unhealthy. I'm just falling behind on maintaining some of my FERT levels and stuff like that, which is giving an opportunity for some green spot algae. But realistically, I just couldn't provide a healthier environment for those plants to throw out roots. So it's just basically just a waiting game now to see if they'll recover or not. Sometimes they don't. And that's unfortunate. We do have a super chat. Let's run here to Dango Bicon. Says it's coming home. Now he's speaking of soccer, the World Cup. Is the World Cup coming home? Home to where? I think it's still four teams left, right? Yeah, World Cup. There's still 4 teams left, right? Tomorrow and Wednesday. So France and Belgium is tomorrow. Croatia and England on Wednesday. Then the final shall be next. Well, depends on where your home is. I mean, the World Cup is going to go somewhere. It's going to go to one of those 4 squads, one of those 4 teams, one of those 4, whatever you want to call them. It's going to go to one of those 4 countries, that's for sure. And if you are from one of those 4 countries, congratulations. That's awesome. World Cup's no small feat. Takes quite a long time to even... It takes a long time to even qualify for the thing, you know, and a lot of countries don't. A lot of countries don't even get to qualify, so. But if you've made it to the quarterfinals, you have a pretty good chance. You have like a 1 in 4. You have like a 1 in 4 chance to actually make it. Congratulations to anybody that wins. I take the same stance with all the other sports. You know, whether it be, you know, all the other sports that I watch, okay? American football, I watch some baseball, that's for sure. Don't watch a lot of basketball, but I do watch some hockey, basically when we get down to the playoffs and stuff like that. But I look at it this way. Somebody's got to win, and congratulations to whoever wins, because it's an incredible feat to win any of those, any trophy, realistically. I'm just the kind of person that's like, hey, man, congratulations on all the hard work. It paid off. You won. You got a trophy thing with your name on it. So kudos to anybody that made it. That's awesome. I'm just realizing how many SD cards I need to decommission. Sorry. I'm super distracted today, you guys. It's Monday. What do you want me to do? It's Monday. Wasting time says, right on, thanks. What happened? I don't know if I even... Did I answer a question? Not yet. Let me see. I'm looking for a red plant to add to my tank. And then Alternanthera renekii was Ludwigia palustris was also recommended. Ludwigia repens. Ludwigia repens, I don't find it to turn red that much, but palustris does. Alternanthera renekii is a great one. It's actually featured in this video, like right up there. It's that one. Right there, straight up above my head right now. That one does great. It will turn different varying degrees of redness, depending on how much light, how much iron, CO2, all those kinds of things contribute to it. But they... Alternanthera renekii would be the one that I would do. Ludwigia palustris is an amazing plant. I love it a lot. It may or may not be accidentally in this video. Who knows? Who knows? Does anybody know if it's in this video or not? Do they? It's not. But palustris, I have had good and bad. I've had good and bad in the past, but the Ludwigia repens sometimes will turn red, that's for sure. But I would definitely recommend Ludwigia repens to anybody out there. It is a cool plant. It's one of my all-time favorite plants because it makes these really cool leaves, ends up with these really cool patterns depending on your water quality and that kind of stuff, your lights and all that kind of things. You kind of get different spots, different things, and it's one of my favorite plants. Easiest to propagate, I think, out of any plant ever. And grows beautifully and does a great job in anybody's aquarium scape, that's for sure. Patrick's Aquatic says, you get the trophy thing with your name on it. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right? You get that old trophy thing with your name on it. And it says, you tried real hard, and we're all good friends, and that's what matters, right? Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But I am happy at this point to have gotten this plant. Now, does anybody have any questions of what I was talking about? I had to remove some other plants. I had to move a few things, like the that Anubias golden that is in there is getting a little too much direct light, so that's why I'm actually moving it from the spot that I moved it from, and adding in some of the limnophilia, which is going to do a lot better in that spot than the Anubias golden that is there. Just the older Anubias leaves have, it's just a wonderful opportunity for a little bit of algae to grow on, and then I'm like, dude, what is this rookie nonsense, man? What is this, amateur hour? I got to move these plants and let the algae get out of there. I do have some bad news today, you guys. This is probably the worst news I've ever given you guys. The worst news. This could be game-changingly bad. This is the last Mr. Brown. It's a sad day, you guys. It's the last Mr. Brown. I have yet to find a local retailer that sells the Mr. Brown. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have a couple minutes to go around to try a couple other stores and see if I can't find myself a flat of Mr. Browns. But cheers to you guys. Here's some chip cheerio coffee action. Hopefully one of the countries wins the World Cup. You guys know I don't drink alcohol anymore. I'm a sober guy, but I loves my coffee. I loves my coffee. I definitely like to drink my coffee when I'm on the show here. The Mr. Browns, probably my favorites. And that's the last one. But that's life. Mexican Cat says, a moment of silence, please. Moment of silence for the sad thing. Oh, Jeffros has a great point. I killed all of my Mr. Browns. Hashtag clickbait. That would be pretty funny. JS says, the last Mr. Brown, chug it or slowly sip it. Well, I'll still sip it because I like to sip it while I'm on the show here. Help, you know, a little caffeine to keep a little motivated, not fall asleep during the show. PMS, what do I take in my coffee? One cream, one sugar. That's how I like it. But as Vicky pointed out yesterday, she's like, I like my coffee extra thick. Like, I like, man, if you made a pot this morning at, like, the 7-Eleven or the gas station, right? If you made a pot and nobody came and got any of it today, and now it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it's just been cooking, that's the stuff I like. You, like, put your spoon in it, you know, hold up the spoon, you know. That's how I like mine. But one I like that as my coffee, and then I like one creamer and one sugar in there typically. That's how I like it. Life's too short to not have a little cream and sugar in your coffee. If I'm out camping or whatever, oftentimes we don't have any, so I have to drink it black. But life's too short to not have a little cream, a little sugar. You know what I mean? Devin Peppers asking, what plants do you recommend for breeding guppies and plecos? Well, let me think here. For breeding plecos, nothing really specific comes to mind for breeding plecos, as more often than not, you're definitely going to want caves. You're going to want like ceramic caves for breeding plecos. That's going to be the best thing, or some natural caves, some natural cave areas where they can go into and do what they got to do in there. That's going to be the biggest thing. For breeding guppies, I definitely recommend something that has a lot of coverage. Something with a lot of coverage. I mean, guppy grass isn't named guppy grass. I mean, is named guppy grass for a reason. They love to go in there and do their business, and but you do want a lot of cover so that when the guppies do throw their babies, so something like Java moss that actually is a real easy moss to grow. You could get into some of the cooler mosses like Phoenix moss or Christmas moss. There's a lot of mosses out there nowadays that you could get. You could definitely get into some cooler ones that you could utilize, but that's where the babies are going to most likely find their initial food, is in the mosses or even some fine grasses or stuff like that. Valsneria is kind of too coarse for it, but some some hair grass would normally be good, not the dwarf variety. You want it to kind of grow up a little bit. So it gives them a lot of good cover to throw their babies into. If you're not, selectively taking them out and allowing them to breed like in their own breeder boxes or their own tanks or anything like that, that's going to be the best situation. Whereas the plecos go, there's nothing that really kind of comes to mind. You basically just want plants that are going to cover those caves up a little bit, just to give them a little additional kind of a darker area for them to be able to be in. The crypt Wendetii that I have in here, that are the plants off on the right-hand side, as you can see, are doing a really good job covering the substrate. Those are always great, mainly because once they grow up and get full, you can actually just slide a pleco cave, sort of like if you just spread them with your hands like this, you can slide a pleco cave in there, and then a lot of the leaves will cover it up, so you don't have to necessarily see the top of the pleco cave, and maybe you could just see the opening. That's pretty good. Floating plants, as Michael Moncourt just mentioned, is a great one for guppy fry, because most of the roots will hang down. So like water lettuce, things like that. The roots will hang down, and those roots are where a lot of the babies are going to be able to hang out, get some coverage, and find some little things to nibble on and stuff like that, and grow into, well, bigger fish. You know what I mean? Because that's ultimately the goal. If we're breeding, we want to get more fully grown fish. It's hard to sell them babies. You know what I mean? It's really hard to sell babies. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Alyssa Bentley says, she has Neos like crazy. I kind of want crystal red and black tank. Crystal red and black tank, though. I like that they don't turn to mud together. Yeah, well, the one of the few things that most people don't realize about crystal shrimp, the red and the black varietal are actually the same. Typically, the black is the wild, and then the red has been bred and bred for that red gene that is in them, to get redder and redder. And typically nowadays, when you breed the reds or the blacks, you just get reds and blacks that get thrown out. That's the babies that they make. There's not really that many in between very often. Although I spent so many years kind of garnering a pretty high grade crystal shrimps and culling off the ones that I didn't want, that you might have a different result yourself, depending on just kind of the, I don't know if I want to say quality, if that's necessarily the right word or anything like that. I hope that's the right word. That might be the right word. Yeah, quality of them. Basically just the grade of them. If you get a high grade, it's going to be pretty solid for you. All right. I didn't see people having a ton of questions about the video segment, but let's see what people got. Oh, Rory has showed up. What's up, my man? Vexing Cat saying coffee. Vexing Cat campfire coffee. Espresso. Cuban espresso from Brandon Skelly. Yeah, you're right. I love Cuban espresso. That is for sure. Don't have enough of it around here. Let me look through the chat. Walmart says, order the pickup at store, from Cheryl Jones. I don't think I have a Walmart around here. I don't think I can go there. But there's like a H Mart, and I'm thinking that's where it's at. I'm going to go to H Mart hopefully tomorrow, and I'm going to see if the Mr. Brown's is there. Wasting time. Did you address what you weigh the plants down with? Yes, it's rookie hour. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's not rookie hour. I actually just use plant weights. They're typically lead plant weights. Let me see. Hold on, let me grab. I know I have an Amazon link for it. Let me look through here. Where did that go? Lead. Lead aquarium plant weights. Let me get you a link, my man. Boy or girl, I don't know. Where did... where... Oh, where can my Amazon links be? The Lord took them away from me. I see the problem here. There. Okay. It was pulling up all my LED links, which was problematic. Okay. Yeah, here's a bag of them right here. These are the ones that I use. Copy. And by the way, I do think $10 is kind of a ridiculous price, but that will at least give you an idea of where you can go. Maybe you're one of those people that just wants to one-click on Amazon, doesn't care about money, but you can price shop out there and find out some that may or may not be cheaper than that. It is a little bit ridiculous to me that... and by the way, I get this question, so I want to address it before anybody busts it out. There's not actual lead in the lead weights. They're just called lead weights because that's what people know them as. There's no actual lead in them, so don't be super concerned about that. They're safe to use. Don't stress out. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Let me see if I thought I had another link in here of some other weights, but these are basically the ones that I use. I don't think I bought 25 of them for $10, but, you know, I typically just save the ones that I've gotten over the years from actually buying plants and stuff like that also. Vexen Cat says, yes, Renton Walmart is off Rainier and next to the Winco. Well, why doesn't Winco have it? I'd rather give some money to Winco instead of Walmart, you know? I like Winco. If you don't know what Winco is, it's a co-opted grocery store. So it's, you know, it's owned. Jennifer MWB says, won't cheap fishing line weights work? Yes, those will actually work too. The only issue with those is that oftentimes the fishing line weights, they'll crimp down because they're crimping down on a fishing line. So you don't want to crimp those down on the stem of the plant. Kind of the opposite of what we're trying to do. It will crimp them off and kill them. Noob Phobo says the co-op has 10 for $3.99. Well, there you go. So, yeah, if you happen to be going to the co-op or something like that, you know, obviously use my affiliate link, right? Whatever. But yeah, the co-op would be a good spot. Amazon would be a good spot. You can definitely find that stuff out there, out in the world, for sure. Oh man, somebody became a Patreon and then they left already or something. I don't understand. How does that work? We had a brand new Patreonizer. And then they went away. I don't know. That was weird. Okay. That's odd. Let's see. Vexen Cat says, I may live in Oregon, but I know Washington well. That's working. It's working for you. Jennifer says, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just with fishing weights, you know, you want to watch out for the crimping on there because it will, especially with stem plants, it'll just crimp down on it and kind of kill that off. Tug Fork says you can get barrel-style fishing weights with a hole in the middle. Yeah, but that... I don't know. In my experience, that hole was always kind of too small. And Dark and Chaos says many fishing line weights are actually lead. Yes, so that's... You definitely want to make sure that they aren't actual lead. It's just not great to be handling that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm no doctor, but I know it's not a great idea. JH Aquatics says, what is your favorite red plant to scape with? My favorite red plant to scape with. Well, I mean, I've had the alternate there, Renekii, now for a long time, but my favorite red plant would probably be, let me think here. Probably, I think. You know, I think a lot of the red Ludwigias are probably my favorite. Probably because they have... The red Ludwigias are a little bit different than the Repens and stuff like that. Like the Super Reds, I just was dangling my finger by some of the red Ludwigias that are actually in here. Let me turn the whiteboard thing on. There we go. Whiteboard time, you guys. So these plants right here are actually Ludwigias, and we'll be getting to those later. But some of those are my favorite, and definitely one of the reasons that they're my favorite is because they can be super challenging and rewarding at the same time. So typically if a plant has that going for it, where if you're treating it really well, hold on a second. If you're treating it really well, it will reward you a lot. So typically, if a plant has that going for it, where it has kind of an ebb and flow, a back and forth, like that Sterigene repens that's like right behind me right here. It's actually doing very well. It's a plant that, you know, like Sterigene repens that is in this tank. That's a plant that super frustrates me, but I also am super stoked when I'm doing well with it. That's the kind of stuff that I like. That's the kind of stuff that I get excited for, and those are the things that I kind of look forward to. I love it when my crypts are doing really well, right? But I can grow crypts all day long. It's just that growing crypts for me is almost second nature at this point. It's really not that difficult to grow crypts for me. So it's rewarding when they grow really well. They grow really beautiful. I have a tendency to stare at them. I love how well their appearance and everything. Like, I am transfixed by them. But the plants that I get really excited for are the ones that I sort of that demand my attention more than anything. Even though, like, Anubias Nana Petite is probably my all-time favorite plant, it doesn't really demand my attention. So I sort of like, I love the way that it looks. I love what it's doing. But I'm like, I could leave it in there for 6 months and come back and be like, yeah, it's kind of changed. I would literally need the side-by-side picture. You know what I mean? I would need the side-by-side picture to really identify, like, oh, wow, that really has grown 30 more leaves or something over that 6-month period. But maybe it was only 10. Who knows? That also is one of the challenging sides with Anubias Nana Petite, that I have to be super patient in order to keep it going, right? In order to keep it going, keep it growing, maintaining its environment so that it can stay well. So that does have a little bit of a challenge. But typically, if a plant doesn't have a lot of challenge and I could just grow it outside on the ground, basically, I'm sort of kind of like ambivalent to them, even though I do have a powerful lust for them, and if I didn't have them, I would freak out. But like I was saying with the crypts, if they're just growing and growing and growing and growing, I will stop and kind of stare at them and just look at how beautiful they are. But at the same time, they're just doing what they're doing, and I'm not like, oh wow, I really got to do something with them, you know. Dark and Chaos says, time-lapse some Nana Petite. Yeah, I would love to be able to dedicate I would love to be able to do some of that National Geographic type stuff and dedicate a camera to, like, a 4-month shoot. I would love to get in on some of that stuff, but as you guys know, I'm using my cameras almost every single day of the week. There's just no way that I could set it up to do that. I would love to be able to get in on some of those projects, but I don't necessarily have like the degree or the paperwork that says, boy howdy, National Geographic should totally hire me, right? So, you know, not to suddenly talk about the Patreon again, but that's the whole reason for the Patreon, is that, you know, honestly, if I had like a doctorate or something like that, I could probably just yell at companies and be like, hey, we got to do something. This is Dr. Acula, right? Dracula, Dr. Acula, right? Like, we got to be working on a project because I'm a doctor. But as is right now, we're just making more and more projects, and hopefully they're helping people out enough that we just can gain enough of a community that we're just going to keep rocking and rolling and sharing information and doing a good job. And maybe one of those maybe one of those companies will come around at some point in time. You never know. But big thanks to all the patronizers out there, as always. Speak of the devil, we got a brand new Patreonizer. This looks legit. This looks real. Is it real? Uh-oh, it is real. Okay. We gotta go here. Oh, I don't know how to say your name. Aniel Abreu? Abreu? Okay, Abreu is your last name. Aniel. It's like Danielle with no D. All right. Thanks for chipping in during the show, man. And Nathan Graff is brand new. Adam Jurgens is brand new. And Johnny Zelaya is brand new. We got some new patronizers. And just mad props. Thanks, you guys. It's always weird. It's always weird to me. I literally was at the store yesterday with Vicky. We were at the secondhand store, the Goodwill. If you guys know what Goodwill is, people donate their clothing there. And people wonder why I get a lot of shirts like this all the time. It's because I go to like Goodwill or Salvation Army or Value Village, whatever. I go to the secondhand stores and I find cool shirts for like $4, $5. I guess, I think most people would know. Probably because of Macklemore. You could go listen to the Macklemore song. I hadn't heard that song in a really long time, and I remember just how funny it was. I was like, yeah, I could see why this song got popular. That definitely makes sense to me, because this is hilarious. But that song did get annoying, because I'd heard it so many times when it was popular that it started to become annoying. But it had been a really long time since I heard it, and was like, man, this is exciting now that I haven't heard it in like years or something. Neil says, yes, sir. Aniel Abreu or Neil. Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. So now we know. Okay. Neil is much easier to say. Anil. Okay. Hey, thanks, Neil, man. I appreciate it. Love seeing you pop up in the chat. And thanks for patronizing, man. I always appreciate it. Savannah Aqualama says, now there's a free add-on feature where you can comment after the show. This will send a nod to the YouTubes and tell them how awesome Joel is. What's the free add-on feature? You can comment after the show? It was 99 cents. Oh, yeah, it was 99 cents. Yeah. I don't know about the new add-on feature where you can comment after the show. Or maybe that's the comment thing? I don't know. I'm confused, Savannah. But either way, sounds cool. Dark and Chaos says, you never know. You have a great community, and many big companies are looking for ways just to put their names out there. Dark and Chaos. Yes, that is the whole point. I mean, that's the whole point. We're here. Realistically, I would love to be in a position, because one of the things is that like I do have intentions on going, like, not necessarily traveling out more, but like doing more projects and stuff like that is more of the direction that I want to go. I realistically want to be. Okay, let me backtrack here a little bit. So, if anybody out there has ever seen Survivor Man with Les Stroud, I very much admire Les Stroud, his work ethic, how he produced his show, how he did all that stuff. It definitely was it is certainly a one-man band. But personally, I go, wow, I really look up to Les Stroud, and then I go, okay, what kind of advice did he have? And he goes, being a one-man band is insane. It's super crazy hard to do. More and more production and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I can relate to that. Yeah, that makes sense. So at some point in time, yes, as we move forward and stuff, I do hope to expand the production, right? So as we expand the production, you know, it's just one of those things. Hopefully some company like Netflix or the Fluval or whoever wants to help fund it, so that yes, we could be a small team, but we could go on to locations and stuff like that. You know, it's like Corey and I have been talking about that, and Corey and I, that's what we want to do. That's one of the big things that we want to do. I haven't hit that point yet where we could really just fund it and do it, you know. So oh, and we've got people patronizing during the show. More? We've got a brand new patronizer of Jeffrey Adams, which I would almost guess is Jeffro's Fish Keeping, 100%, right? And then we've also got another new patronizer in Mark. Well, thank you, Mark. Very much appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming in and patronizing during the show. It's 100%, man. Thank you very much. It just puts us closer and closer to the goal of like being able to do more cool stuff. We got a super chat from MLML here. Hopefully I got that right. $2 super chat saying thank you for always giving great advice. I'm hoping that I did give good advice, because I remember there was all these points that I wanted to hit on, but I'm not sure. Oh, MLML is Mark. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense then. That makes more sense. But hopefully I did give out and hit all the bullet points on this planting. But I just want to double down a little bit to remind people that if you just do take a little bit of it just does take a little bit of patience. For me, it's like pulling teeth. I mean, I can 100% relate to people that, like, the last thing I want to do is I just bought these plants. Now I can't do anything with them for like a week or a week and a half or whatever. But honestly, the end result, now right here, as I pull this plant out, you see that? See how it's extended its roots and sent roots down into the substrate? Hold on, let me go back here. Whoops, I have the whiteboard turned on. Let me go back. We need to go back like 20 seconds or something. And pause. Okay. So right here in the video, you can see me actually, hold on, let me get the whiteboard going. And I don't know why I have it set to red. What color do you guys want today? Blue? Light blue? All right, we're going light blue. No one said what color they wanted. So as you can see here, the roots, I'm actually pulling the roots out of the substrate, right? That's ridiculous. People like, man, are you an artist or what? I'm not good at arting with my mouse. I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys. I need a like a light board, you know, with a light pen. But anyhow, you guys can see as I'm pulling the plant out there, these roots, right? And let me, how do I do this? I wonder if I can do this, right? I think I can do that. Yes, I totally can, you guys. I can leave the arrow there and then hit play. Okay, so I'm going to plant the plant back there, right? Then wait here as I come to pull out some of this Ludwigia. And as we pull out the Ludwigia from out of here, you'll notice that those roots are being yanked out from the substrate. Now, remember from earlier, I was saying do not plant the roots into the substrate, because they'll actually reach down from the plant. They'll send out roots. That's your sign. That is your 100% your sign right there that it has adapted to the light conditions, your water, the temperature, all that kind of stuff is starting to send out roots. It's starting to get something going on and happening what you want to happen. Then it's going to be time to plant it. You know, and I can 100% relate to all the people over the years that have told me, man, I can't wait. I don't want to wait. I can't wait. And boy, howdy, neither do I. I don't want to wait either. And I don't want to wait either, but this is going to really, really help you successfully down the line. Just take a little bit of patience. It's just what it's going to take. And it has always helped me. This tactic has always helped me. That a flame sword that's there, someday it's going to get planted, and I'm going to make a really cool really crazy feature video about the one aflame that I got. But that day is not today. All right, we're coming up on the end of the show, so let's encounter this $10 super chat from Bob Kaler. What's up, Bob? Good to see you. Says, bought a rainbow axolrodi, the last one. Have never had a rainbow fish. Went to the local fish store again today. Just in was 6 bosemani and 1 rare emerald rainbow. Glossolepsis wanamensis. Last one, I think I've lost it. Now, here's the thing. I could 100% agree with that because I did go to Bentley's house and checked out some of his fish room over the weekend with Petite Bro and I. We both went down there. We both went there, checked out some stuff. And if you guys follow my Instagram, I did post a little snapshot action of one of Bentley's tanks. He's got so many rainbow fish and stuff like that. And also having hung out with Gary Lang, it is a reminder that I'm like, man, I should probably get some rainbow fish in my life. But now I'm so undecided because I've been exposed to so many beautiful rainbow fish. I don't even know which ones I want to even really get. But one of the bigger things is that on the Patreon page, if you go to the Patreon page, there's a community tab there. If you're a patronizer, then you can, if you're a patronizer, you can go there. You can utilize the community tab. You can post pictures. You can look at the pictures. You can look at all the stuff that's going on there. The community is a spot for you guys to post. On Fridays, I normally answer questions from there, or have my comments and that kind of stuff for if you post pictures or whatnot. We go through all that stuff on Fridays. If you go over there, there is a post there. One of my favorite fishes of all time, the Apisto macmasteri. And boy, howdy. That came up today. I started thinking about Apistos. I've got my Apistos, and I love them, and they're doing great. I know that the bristlenose plecos have been breeding and replicating in that tank, so the Apistos are getting pretty close to that. If they haven't yet, they may have. But I do have the giant school of rummy nose tetras in there, so it'd be hard to say exactly what's going on in that tank because those rummy nose will hammer on fry, But there's a ton of cherry shrimps and all that kind of stuff. There's so many cherry shrimp in that tank. There's a lot of hiding spaces and stuff like that. So it's almost at a point where it's just kind of a waiting game. If I start seeing adolescents and stuff like that showing up, then I know that they are breeding and stuff. JH says, Apistos in Peru. Can't wait. Agreed, my man. I can't wait for you guys to go to Peru. I think that's coming up in, that's about a week's time, right? I think, I believe most everybody's leaving on the 14th or whatever. So this coming weekend, about a week's time from now, you guys are all headed off to Peru. And I'm excited for that. I hope you guys have a great time down there. I'm sure you will. There's just a lot of cool stuff going on in Peru and things that are going on in the Peru and stuff. Whoa. So many patronizers coming in today. What did I do? Did I do something? It's just Monday. We're doing the show. This is the show. So anybody that's new here and whatnot, always like to give you the guys the quick rundown. We do this live show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're also live on The Real Fish Talk with Corey from the Aquarium Co-op on Tuesdays. Feel free to check that out if you like. If you don't like this show, I understand. I also post short edited videos and stuff like that. We're nearly almost to 800 videos on YouTube, so there might be some good stuff in there. There might be some bad stuff in there. Who knows? If you really don't like the 800 videos, just feel free to let me know, and maybe I'll make a video that you like someday. I don't know. Who knows? I like comments. I like all the comments. Even the negative comments, because those just get a chuckle out of me, generally speaking. Yeah. So things are going pretty well. Oh, Barbara. Oh, Barbara, I love you to death, Barbara. I really do. I love you 100%. I think that there are some people out there that I have been critical of over the years, right? And whether somebody makes a mistake or not, I'm not normally going to get super mad at them because mistakes happen. How you react to mistakes would be a good indicator of somebody's character. If you know, for instance, if you make a mistake and then immediately you make the same mistake and then you even learn, you learn how to not make the mistake and then just continue to do it, you know, and now it's affecting other things that can't, you know, affect their own thing. I think it is important for people to really take good care of their fish tanks and stuff like that because the fish, they can't swim away. They can't go anywhere else. I'm not saying be mean to any animals. I don't want anybody to be mean to any animals. But if I was mean to Biddy, she could run away. She would never run away. Oh, my little puppy. Or if you're like, I don't know, don't be mean to anything. Don't be mean to anything. But I'm especially sort of cranky when people are terrible to fish because the fish can't get away. They can't go anywhere, you know. I don't know. Be nice to everything. That's the number one rule. But if you continue to keep making the same mistake, then it's time for criticism and stuff like that. And I understand that some people are going to be upset. They're going to be mad. And they're going to be like, oh, you're just hating on people because you're hating on people. Like, I'm not. It's taking advantage of a terrible situation. And I think of it the same way as the news. When the news posts up something that is total clickbait garbage, you know, that's awful too. And I think that stuff should go away also. But, you know, it's all good. Coming up on the last couple minutes here. Saying John Bedker is here, asking, changing my 120 into a planted tank. Got 3 bags of stratum. Need 3 more bags of something. Should I go all stratum or 50-50 of something else like fluorite or eco-complete? Personally, if I was going to do a tank like that, I almost always look into, what's the word? Fluorite's never great to mix with Fluval, even though it's not bad. It's just kind of dusty and has this weird other color to it. But I would definitely go with Eco-Complete personally. I would go with the Eco-Complete layer like underneath the black. You know, I would just make sure to get the black Eco-Complete, go with that underneath, and then put the Fluval Stratum on top. Because if you do ever, like, make a change in the aquarium, it won't be that big of a deal if you, like, mix them up or whatnot. But I use the Fluorite Black Sand in the 150 that was in the video earlier today. That is Fluorite Black Sand, and there's also Fluorite Stratum, or Fluval Stratum, in there also. So those would be kind of the 2 that I would go with. Joel Gillett's got to go. Later, my man. Mr. Captain Demo 2002 asking, how did you and Corey end up hanging out together? So Corey and I have met each other a bunch of times. We're actually from the same area. I was really... so we would go to the same fish club meeting, right? Back in the day. I actually even went down and checked out his store when he was building it because I worked for a different store at the time. And the owner was like, hey man, let's go check out this Corey guy. He's putting in an aquarium, or he's putting in a store, whatnot. And you know, back in the day, as you guys know, I've been sober for quite, over 4 years now. Thumbs up. Back in the day, kind of a wild man, kind of a crazy dude, and basically neither Corey and I wanted to hang out together. I mean, just to be brutally honest about it, it was like, I don't think he wanted to hang out with me, and I didn't know if I wanted to hang out with him. But basically, about the 3-year mark of me being sober, so maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. Corey was like, hey, what's this guy up to? What's this guy up to? And was kind of interested in what was going on. Found out I was sober, blah, blah, blah. He was like, wow, man, it seems like this guy's like maybe a more chilled out version of himself, which I would say I am at this point. And he was like, hey, let's meet up. Let's see what's going on. Maybe it'll work out or whatnot. And we started hanging out, and we're bros at this point. We're just buddies hanging out, doing buddy stuff. Because we just hung out. We talked about a lot of stuff. We emailed back and forth. We're always kind of messaging each other and stuff like that. And just bros and down to hang out. Turns out he's a really good guy. Turns out it turns out he's a really good guy. Turns out I'm in other people's opinion. I don't know, man. I try to be the best guy that I can. Turns out they're like, oh, hey, it turns out you're not a crazy guy. I mean, I have this look about me. I have the resting fish face, right? And people think that I'm going to bite them or something like that. But, and understandably, because throughout my past, I've had a lot of interactions with authority and things like that, you know. So, colorful. We'll call it colorful. But coming up, I'm going to be a father here pretty soon, over 4 years sober, having a good time, and just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And, yeah, I think it's working out pretty well. I think it's working out great. JH and I hung out at the last aquatic experience, and I can't wait for the next one because I don't think I'm going to be able to see him until the next time. I don't know. Unless suddenly I can make it out to the Virgin Islands. Oddball Aquatics, gotta go. I have to go too, you guys. Love you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow on... what's the word? I'll see you guys tomorrow on The Real Fish Talk. I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Don't go crazy out there and light off a bunch of fireworks like maniacs and burn anything down. Remember, it is the summertime, and the 4th of July is over. So stop lighting the fireworks off. Wait till next year. When it'll be your opportunity again. In the meantime, stay safe out there. Have a great time. Have a good time. Have fun. Make somebody's day, and just do the things that you got to do. Leave.